These 60 final photos of movie legends before their deaths will make you smile, haunt you, and a few will absolutely break you. Nobody in that moment knew they were watching the last chapter close. Marilyn Monroe. The last photo was taken at a private party. She's laughing. 3 weeks later, she was gone. Nobody there knew they were saying goodbye. She was 36. James Dean had just finished filming, 24 years old. The world never found out what he would have become. That's the tragedy. Not what he was, what he never got to be. Heath Ledger. 6 days before he died, photographed on the streets of New York, head down, bundled in winter clothes. The Joker had wrapped. The Oscar was earned. He just wasn't alive to hold it. Sharon Tate. 8 months pregnant. Last photo shows a woman full of hope, and 3 days later, murdered. She was 26. There is nothing else to say. Jean Harlow. The original blonde bombshell, gone at 26. Before color film could even capture her properly, Hollywood lost its first icon before it understood what it had. Audrey Hepburn. Her last photos weren't on a red carpet. They were taken in Somalia, doing humanitarian work, sick herself, holding children she would never see grow up. That was who she actually was. Gene Wilder. Had Alzheimer's for years, told nobody. He kept it secret specifically so children wouldn't associate Willy Wonka with sadness. His last photo is of a man protecting a memory that wasn't even his own. Alan Rickman. Even his closest friends didn't know he was dying. The last photo the world has of him, he looks completely fine. That's what makes it impossible to look at. Robin Williams. The man who made the world laugh was suffering from Lewy body disease and didn't fully understand it yet. His last photo shows the smile everyone knew. Behind it was something none of us knew. Marlene Dietrich. Spent her last decade bedridden in a Paris apartment, refused to be seen by anyone. The most glamorous woman of her era chose to leave no final image. That was the last thing she ever controlled.
Bobby Driscoll, the voice of Peter Pan, Disney's biggest child star, died alone in an abandoned building in New York. His body wasn't identified for over a year. Peg Entwistle, she was 24. She jumped from the Hollywood sign. Her final letter said she hoped she hadn't hurt anyone. Candy Darling, Andy Warhol's muse, dying of lymphoma at 29. She had her deathbed photo staged deliberately. Flowers, white sheets, full makeup. Her last image was entirely on her own terms. Bob Hope, lived to 100. Spent 99 of those years making people laugh. His last photo shows a man who genuinely used every single day he was given. Kirk Douglas, made it to 103. Last photo, alert, upright, still Kirk Douglas. Some legends simply refuse to shrink. Betty White, 17 days. That's how close she got to 100. The whole world was planning a party. Her last photo shows her smiling, completely unaware the party was never going to happen. Charlie Chaplin, died on Christmas morning, surrounded by family. The man who made the entire world laugh left quietly, in his sleep, on the most peaceful day of the year. Glynis Johns. Winifred Banks in Mary Poppins, made it to 100. Her last photo, a quiet, private gathering. A century of life ended gently. Most people don't even know she's gone. Carrie Fisher and Debbie Reynolds. Don't treat these as two entries. Carrie collapsed on a flight from London, died 4 days later. Her mother, Debbie, watching her daughter die, told her son, "I want to be with Carrie." She had a stroke that same afternoon, gone the next day. Mother and daughter, 1 day apart. Their last photos, taken separately, unknowingly final, now belong together permanently. Bruce Lee. Enter the Dragon hadn't even released when he died. He never saw what he'd created. Last photo, 32 years old, peak condition, gone 3 weeks before his own masterpiece hit theaters. River Phoenix. Collapsed outside a Hollywood nightclub. His brother Joaquin made the 911 call. He was 23. John Belushi. At a recording studio the night before, full of energy, making everyone laugh, found the next morning. He was 33. Paul Walker came back to Fast and Furious for the fans. Last photo, taken at a charity car show the same afternoon he died. He never made it back to set. Jane Mansfield. Last photo taken hours before her death at a nightclub, laughing. She was 34. Nobody in that room knew the night would never end. Jay Sebring, celebrity hairstylist. His clients, Bruce Lee, Frank Sinatra, Steve McQueen. He was at Sharon Tate's home on August 9th, 1969. He was 35. Wojciech Frykowski, a Polish actor and writer, also at Sharon Tate's home that night. He was 32. History remembers him only by the circumstances of his death, which is its own kind of tragedy. Whitney Houston. Found in a hotel bathtub the night before the Grammy Awards. The music industry was gathered one floor below, about to celebrate her. Last photo, at a pre-Grammy party hours earlier. She's smiling. She looks completely fine. James Gandolfini. On vacation in Rome with his teenage son, his son found him. He was 51. Last photo, a tourist in Italy with his kid. Nothing like Tony Soprano. Everything like the man. John Candy. On set in Mexico, mid-production, the crew found him in the morning. He was 43, known for making everyone around him feel warm. He died alone. Andre the Giant had traveled to France for his father's funeral, found in his hotel room the next morning. He was supposed to go home that day. He was 46. Michael Landon. 2 months before he died, gave a television interview and cried on camera. Had weeks left and knew it. His last photo was taken that same day. He went back outside and smiled for it anyway. John Wayne. Hollywood's toughest man, fought stomach cancer for years. Last public photo, thinner, quieter, but still John Wayne. Some people carry their dignity like armor. Lucille Ball. Had been watching the Academy Awards on TV just days before. The queen of comedy. Last photo, relaxed at home. Nothing remarkable about the afternoon. That's the cruelest part. Elizabeth Taylor. The most photographed woman of her generation. Last photo taken in a hospital. Hollywood's greatest beauty. At the end, just a person in a bed, surrounded by the people she loved. Joan Crawford. The morning she died, she fired her housekeeper, turned away reporters, then died alone, on her own terms, to the last breath. Clark Gable. Last film was The Misfits, alongside Marilyn Monroe. Finished it, died 2 weeks after wrapping. Marilyn outlived him by less than 2 years, both gone before anyone was ready. Anthony Perkins. Kept his HIV diagnosis private for years. Even his closest friends didn't know. Norman Bates himself, a man who spent his career playing secrets, died keeping the biggest one. Marlon Brando. His final years were reclusive, left as quietly as he had once arrived so loudly. The last photo the world has of him barely looks like him at all. Ava Gardner. Called the most beautiful woman who ever lived. Spent her final years in London, largely forgotten by the industry that had once worshipped her. Her last photo, quiet, simple, nothing like the legend. Carol Lombard. Returning home from a war bonds tour, her husband, Clark Gable, was waiting. The plane went down. She was 33. Gable never fully recovered. Some people only ever truly have one person. Richard Kiel, Jaws. The steel-toothed Bond villain. Last known photo, a gentle giant signing autographs for fans. Nothing like the character, everything like the man. Victor Buono. King Tut in the 1960s Batman. Died on New Year's Day, 1982. He was 43. The kind of actor audiences always recognized, never quite named. Jeffrey Hunter. Played Jesus Christ in King of Kings. Died at 42. One of Hollywood's most striking faces. By the time he died, the industry had largely moved on. His last photo looks like a man who knew it. Zsa Zsa Gabor. 99 years old, cardiac arrest. Famous before reality TV made that a profession. Last photo, glamorous, defiant, entirely Zsa Zsa.
Lonnie Anderson. WKRP in Cincinnati. Died of metastatic cancer at 79, August 2025. Last public photo, still warm, still her. Hollywood's girl next door, gone quietly. Terry Garr. Young Frankenstein, Tootsie, battled multiple sclerosis privately for decades. Died October 2024 at 79. Her last known photo is from years earlier, on her own terms. Mary Tyler Moore, television's symbol of independence, battled health issues privately for years. Last photo, calm, she was 80. Gene Hackman, found at his home in New Mexico alongside his wife. February 2025, 95 years old. He'd stopped allowing cameras near him years earlier, on his own terms, until the end. Michael Gambon, Albus Dumbledore, loved by millions of children who grew up watching him. Last public appearance, quietly dignified, nothing like the wizard, everything like the man who played him. Lauren Bacall, one of the last surviving links to Hollywood's golden era. Last photo shows a woman who never stopped being exactly herself. Raquel Welch, defined an entire era of global glamour. Died of cardiac arrest in February 2023 at 82. Last photo, still exactly what the world expected her to be. Heather O'Rourke, the child star of Poltergeist, died of septic shock. She was 12 years old. Maggie Smith, Professor McGonagall, the Dowager Countess, last public appearance, sharp, uncompromising, entirely herself. Diane Keaton, hadn't been seen publicly in nearly a year. Death shocked even close friends. Last photo the world has, Christmas shopping, bowl hat, big glasses, waving at someone off camera. Robert Redford, died in his sleep at his Sundance home in Utah, the place he loved, surrounded by the people he loved. There are worse last chapters than that. Val Kilmer, Top Gun, Batman, The Doors, fought throat cancer for years. Last photo posted by his family, he's smiling, still him. Bridget Bardot, last social media post was the day before she died, asking people to adopt a rescue dog. No farewell, no goodbye, just, please help this dog. Chuck Norris, posted a birthday video 9 days before he died, working out, declaring he doesn't age, he levels up. Nobody saw it coming. That video is now his last. Every one of these photos now carries a weight that wasn't there when the shutter clicked. An ordinary Tuesday, a final wave to the camera. Nobody knew. They never do. If this video made you feel something, leave a comment below. Tell us, which one stayed with you the most?